today's video, we have a heavyweight fight for you. These properties are both massive. These properties are fierce competitors of one another. And these properties both have loyal followings. So let's introduce the fighters. In this corner, wearing emerald green, we have MGM Grand. And in this corner, wearing a toga, we have Caesar's Palace. Good luck to you both, and let's start the fight.
We're starting off strong with the pool areas. First, let's take a look at Caesar's Palace. You do have 6 pools to choose from here. One is adults only, and one is for 7 stars, rewards members, or for Nobu guests. One of the pools here actually has blackjack tables in the water, so you can swim up and play blackjack, have a drink, so kind of a different and unique experience. You'll notice that the architecture feels very Roman walking around, but there aren't a whole lot of plants or kind of that tropical feeling that you might get at some of the other pools. It's just a lot of concrete and sort of this white Roman architecture. I would say that you can find seating that is free here, but it's not that extensive. You're going to find a lot of chairs that are available for rent, like day beds or canopies, like you see here, these raised canopies, or of course they do have cabanas. But free chairs, while they do have some, they are more limited here. Now we're moving on to the MGM Grand pools. They have 5 pools and they are of different sizes. Now we were here when it was still kind of cold outside. It wasn't quite pool season yet, so you'll see some of these without chairs, but normally in the summertime they are all full as well. But the one thing that MGM Grand has that Caesar's Palace does not is a lazy river. It's a massive lazy river, has a nice current to it, and it has some pools that are also attached to it, so you can hang out at the pool and then just get in the lazy river. But I love these little meandering paths, and I just like how tropical this whole area feels. You will also notice that they have a lot more free chairs available. Of course, you can rent a lounge chair or a daybed or a cabana, but I just feel like there's a lot more availability of the free chairs here as well. They do have a couple of hot tubs that are around here, and you will not go thirsty because they have a ton of bars for you to choose from, and there is a restaurant on site as well for you to eat. Now, this round has got to go to MGM Grand. MGM Grand wins the pools 10-9. Since you're already watching, you might as well keep your own scorecard and let us know what you end up with at the end of this video. You can drop a comment for us. This round is pretty important. This is the round of the rooms. So starting off with Caesar's Palace, now you're checking in at the lobby, and where do you go to get your room? Well, it's going to depend on which tower you're staying at. There are 5 different towers in this hotel, and that is not including the separate Nobu Hotel, which is inside of Caesar's Palace. Now the room that you're seeing here is a Palace Tower Premium pool view room. This is going to be an upgrade from your basic room. If you are booking the cheapest room at this hotel, it will likely be the Julius Deluxe room, which is 360 square feet and is going to be in need of renovation. But you can book those for as little as $95 a night plus a $55 resort fee. Now, if you wanted to upgrade to something like we have in this particular video, you'd expect to pay probably $50 to $100 or more, just depending on what is going on during the time of your stay. Now, this particular room is about 525 square feet. It is not that recently remodeled, but it still has a lot of nice touches and still feels pretty brand new to me. A nice room here, but this might not be what you're gonna get if you're staying at Caesar's Palace and book the cheaper of the rooms. Just like Caesar's Palace, MGM Grand has a massive and a beautiful lobby here. Now the cool thing about MGM Grand is that when you check in, most all of the rooms are off of one elevator bank, and it's very close to the lobby, so you can get to your room pretty easily. The rooms are going through a remodel. They are finishing out a remodel of all the rooms here in the Grand Tower at MGM Grand. These rooms are 450 square feet, so they are a decent size, and everything is just brand spanking new, modern, and you do have this empty fridge. You do not have one over at Caesar's Palace. I love those floating beds. You can stay in these rooms for as low as $59 a night plus a $50 resort fee. I'm going to give this round a 10-10. These rooms have been remodeled, but they're not quite as fancy as some of the rooms that you could get at Caesar's Palace. But then again, you have consistency here with MGM Grand. You're most likely going to get the same kind of room time and time again. Where over at Caesar's Palace, it's kind of a hit or miss, and it also just depends on how much you want to pay. You're going to pay a lot more for one of those nicer rooms at Caesar's Palace. Caesar's Palace recently did some remodeling to their casino area, adding some sections like these little dome areas with the slot machines in it. But all the work that they have done to make improvements has blended in well with some of the older areas and all the architecture in here, like this high limit table gaming area here. That you're going to find slot machines and table games throughout the hotel property in different sections. It's a really massive casino area. Now, one thing that they do have here that I think they do much better than MGM Grand is they have a great sports book with a bar that overlooks the sports book area. Now, MGM Grand also has a massive casino, also with a lot of slot machines and table games all scattered throughout the property in different sections, just like Caesar's Palace. I think what they don't have though is the same kind of ambiance and that architecture. And I think that Caesar's Palace, the casino area, just feels fancier. They have done some improvements, making this new high limit slots area, but I'm just not sure that it is enough. They also have a nice massive sportsbook area, but it's just not quite as big as Caesar's Palace, and it just doesn't feel as fancy. No bar overlooking it. While I think that both Caesar's Palace and MGM Grand have great casino areas, this round is going to go to Caesar's Palace, mainly because I think the ambiance is better. It just feels fancier. This round is a really tough one for me to score, and hear me out, I'll explain why. Both of these properties have several bars and lounges that you're going to find around the casino area throughout the hotels. Now, this place does have a cigar bar here at Caesar's Palace. If you do like to partake in a cigar, that is available to you. There's not going to be one over at MGM Grand. Caesars also has Lisa Vanderpump's Cocktail Lounge. That is something that's pretty unique. And I think one thing that Caesars has that stands out is they have Omnia Nightclub. And Omnia is one of the most popular nightclubs in all of Las Vegas. MGM Grand also has some really nice bars and lounges all throughout the hotel. I love this Whiskey Down area, but they have some casino bars. And what I do love the most here is that you have not one, not two, but 3 lounge areas where you can come and listen to live music. You have that Level Up Lounge that you just saw, you have the Losers Bar, and you also have Brad Garrett's Comedy Club, and they have live music that plays there before shows. You also do have a nightclub, Hakkasan, and while it's not as popular as Omnia, it's still a nice nightclub. Now, just because I'm a sucker for live music and there are 3 places you can watch it, I'm giving this round to MGM Grand 10-9. Caesar's Palace has an incredible selection of high-end restaurants here, starting with Nobu. There's a Peter Luger Steakhouse, Restaurant Guy Savoy. You have 2 Gordon Ramsay restaurants, including Hell's Kitchen, which is probably one of the most popular restaurants in all of Las Vegas. Everybody tries to get a reservation there. Even their food court is a little elevated. All of the restaurants here in the Celebrity Food Hall are celebrity chef owned. You'll find a variety of restaurants not only in the casino area but also in the attached forum shops. Well, if you're a buffet person, Caesar's Palace has one of the top rated buffets in all of Las Vegas, the Bacchanal Buffet. Joel Robuchon is one of the top rated restaurants in all of Las Vegas for high-end dining, and Joel Robuchon actually has 2 locations here at MGM Grand. Other celebrity chefs you might find here are Wolfgang Puck and Emeril Lagasse. Also, Nellie's Kitchen is owned by the Jonas Brothers. That's named after their grandma. You are going to find a wider variety of price points at the restaurants at MGM Grand, but sometimes that makes a difference in the quality. For example, the buffet here at MGM Grand, while it's edible, it is definitely nowhere near, it doesn't even touch the Bacchanal buffet as far as quality is concerned. So Caesar's Palace does have a lot more variety of higher end quality restaurants, and for that reason, they are going to win this round 10-9. In this round, we are definitely focusing on quality versus quantity. So Caesar's Palace has the Coliseum, and this is where they're bringing in big acts like J-Lo, Kelly Clarkson, Rod Stewart, Alanis Morissette, Jerry Seinfeld, all for residencies. And then they also have a production show called Absinthe, which is always one of the top places that people say to go if you're wanting to see a show in Las Vegas. It is that good. Caesars also has a huge shopping mall called the Forum Shops. You're going to find everything from very high-end stores to sort of your regular run-of-the-mill mall stores. But you also have the show that is in here. It is absolutely free. It is called The Fall of Atlantis, and it's an animatronic show, but so another form of entertainment. But great shopping in the Forum Shops if that is something that you enjoy doing. MGM Grand does have the Grand Garden Arena. They bring in acts throughout the year, including boxing matches. Cirque du Soleil has the show called Ka here. You have David Copperfield, who has a theater here. He's a magician, and he has been performing at MGM Grand for what feels like forever. You also have the Jabberwockies that perform here. There's Brad Garrett's Comedy Club. Tapeface, you might remember him from America's Got Talent. MGM Grand does have some shopping available, but it's nowhere near how much is available at the Forum Shops at Caesar's Palace. While they do have a few shops sprinkled into a couple of different places, this is not a typical shopping mall by any stretch. So MGM Grand does have a lot of entertainment options, but remember at the beginning of this segment, I said it was quality versus quantity. Now, Caesar's Palace is able to bring in these huge named artists for residencies, and their only production show, Absinthe, is one of the top rated shows in Las Vegas and is one of the places that people recommend that everybody has to go to if they're going to see a show in Las Vegas. So for that reason, I'm giving this round to Caesar's Palace, 10-9. The location round is definitely going to go to Caesar's Palace. They have a center strip location. I think it's kind of a knockdown round. MGM Grand got knocked down in this round, and the only reason I'm going to give it a 10-9 score as opposed to a 10-8 score is because the MGM Grand does have a monorail attached to it, but it is towards the far south end of the strip, so not the best of locations compared to Caesar's Palace. We talked about the fact that these hotels are both absolutely massive, but let's talk about getting around, sort of the experience and the service here at the hotels. Now, the layout at Caesar's Palace is, to me, horrific. It's an older hotel, and they just kept adding on more and more, adding more towers, adding new things, and so the layout stinks. If you are parking in the parking structure or using Uber, you have to drag all of your stuff to the lobby from the parking garage, and then probably drag your stuff from the lobby far across the hotel somewhere to get to your elevators because there's so many different towers, as I explained before. And as far as service is concerned, we've not had the best service. It seems to take forever to check in, and not as friendly of staff members in my own personal experience. Even though MGM Grand is also massive, it just seems to be more organized in the layout. You have sort of distinct districts where things are. And also, if you're parking in the parking structure and you were coming to the lobby to check in, it's pretty close. And then from the lobby to your elevators is also pretty close. You're not dragging everything all the way across the hotel just to get to your room. Also, the experience as check-in has been much better. We just feel like we get overall better service at MGM Grand than what we have had in the past at Caesars Palace. For this round, I am giving it to MGM Grand 10-9. Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Let's take a look at the different rounds and what those categories were. Now let's see how the judges scored each round. What does this add up to? Wow, Caesars Palace! Caesars Palace is the winner! Alright, what did you guys have on your scorecard? Did Caesars Palace come out on top? Drop a comment and let us know. Thanks for watching and congratulations, Caesars Palace!